from Srimad Bhagavatam into 4, chapter 7, text 14. We have been reading the purport to text 14 by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we continue reading. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more than advanced animals. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. So we can see that Bhagavatam and the Vedas are using sometimes some harsh words, but we have to understand that it's like a loving father, because when the child is playing too much mischief and does not want to listen, sometimes the father may, raise the voice a bit, or maybe, say, go stand out in the corner or something. But it's all out of love, not out of envy or enmity. So then when Bhagavatam or the Vedas are telling us that we are no more than animals, if we are not coming to the point of Krishna consciousness, is not to put our ego down or it to, give us low self-esteem or, has some envy, but it's for our benefit to make us realize, what happened? Why? What do you mean? To shake us up. What do you mean I'm an animal? Oh, I have to come to the point of understanding God consciousness, and then I become a human being. The Vedanta Sutra begins with the aphorism, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that now I have this human birth. Let us inquire into the absolute truth. That's the beginning of human life. So the Vedas are saying that if someone is just interested in the Karma Kand section, that's not enough. Because when we are performing some rituals, some penances, sacrifices, charity, only for some material benefit, then it's considered a waste of time. Through all these rituals, penances, charities, um, performing the sacrifices, we have to come to the point of Krishna consciousness. If we don't come, then all what we have done is considered a waste of time. But if all this is helping us develop our Krishna consciousness, then that's what is required. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yagya was to punish Daksh, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksh was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. Their reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. So Lord Shiva's position is being explained here, an analogy Prabhupada is giving us, like a cowherd boy, or he keeps a stick. It's not to beat the animal, but just to show the stick. Mother Yashoda, she picks up a stick for Damodar. She's not going to beat him with it, but she just wanted to, hey, what you doing? Cut this naughtiness out. I'm worried about you. I'm worried you'll really go into the forest now with the monkeys, as you are saying. So I'm going to tie you up. So this is out of love, not for anything else. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals, and Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksh. So the point of engaging in rituals, Vedic sacrifices, charities, penances, all of it is to come to Krishna consciousness. That is what all the scriptures are telling us. That is what Lord Shiva is telling us. So reading on. Yoso maya vedita tattvadrisha sabhayam.
Yosho maya viditi tattva sabhayam.
Shipto durukti vishikher vignaya tanmam.
Shipto durukti vishikher viganaya tanmam.
Arvak patanam arhat tamanin nindayapad.
Arva patantam arhatama nindayapad.
Drishtiyardraya sa Bhagavan Swakritena Tushyet.
Drishtadaya sa Bhagavan Swakriti Tushi.
I did not know your full glories. For this reason, I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly. Although you did not take them into account, I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, who are the most respectable personality. But you took compassion upon me and saved me by awarding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. So we can see how there's a complete transformation in Daksh, where earlier he was just condemning Lord Shiva for no fault of his. Now he's completely changed his consciousness and he's realizing that for no reason I was condemning you. And because of this reason, I was surely going to go to hell because he's offended Mahabhagavad, he's offended Lord Shiva, Vaishnavam Yatha Shambhu. And he's also realizing that Lord Shiva punished him out of his own compassion for protection of Daksh, so that he doesn't go to hell. Lord Shiva has given him this punishment. And now he's saying, you kindly be satisfied by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. When Krishna comes back from when he's hiding during the Ras Leela and he comes back, and then he tells the gopis that you be satisfied by your love. There is no way I can repay your love. Krishna feels that so indebted to the gopis for their love. He says, no way I can repay you by your love. I can repay you for your love for me. There's nothing I can do. So you please be satisfied with your love. Na parayaham. So here Daksh is saying, you please be pleased by your own mercy. I have no words to satisfy you. As usual, a devotee in an adverse condition of life accepts such a condition to be the mercy of the Lord. Factually, the insulting words used by Daksh against Lord Shiva were enough to have him thrown perpetually into a hellish life. But Lord Shiva, being kind toward him, awarded him punishment to neutralize the offense. So Prabhupada is pointing out that how does a devotee accept reverses in life? Tattenu kampam susamukshamanam. The verse in Canto 10, chapter 14, which is said by Brahmaji, that a devotee, when reverses come to his life, he accepts the reverses as the mercy of the Lord, that the Lord is reducing his bad karma. And when the devotee faces happiness, he is grateful to the Lord, saying that he does not deserve so much, but it's the Lord's mercy. And in this way, Brahmaji says, because of this tolerance of the devotee, liberation becomes his rightful claim, that he is entitled to get liberation just by being this, having this tolerant attitude and relating all his circumstances to Krishna, depending on Krishna, either in happiness or in distress, either when he is having a reversal in his life or if he's having a happy condition in life. So Daksh, he offended Lord Shiva, and for sure he would have gone to hell. But Lord Shiva, being kind toward him, awarded him punishment to neutralize the offense. So sometimes the kings, also in earlier days, when there would be some murderer, then the king would order that person to be hanged. Why was that? It was not out of anger or enmity, but to save that person from going to hell in the next life, to save him from hellish lives. So, because the law of karma is there after all. King Daksh realized this and, feeling obliged for Lord Shiva's magnanimous behavior, wanted to show his gratitude. Sometimes a father punishes his child, and when the child is grown up and comes to his senses, he understands that the father's punishment was not actually punishment, but mercy. So initially, the child may not understand. Initially, we may not understand what's happening to us. But eventually, we will understand, it's for my own good. What Krishna is doing for me is for my own good. What my father has punished me is for my own good. Similarly, Daksh appreciated that the punishment offered to him by Lord Shiva was a manifestation of Lord Shiva's mercy. That is the symptom of a person making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. It is said that a devotee in Krishna consciousness never takes any miserable condition of life to be condemnation by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He accepts the miserable condition to be the grace of the Lord. He thinks, I would have been punished or put into a more dangerous condition of life due to my past misdeeds, but the Lord has protected me. Thus, I have received only a little punishment as token execution of the law of karma. So, this is the attitude of the devotee, and that's how he tolerates. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 14, Tam stitikshasva bharata. He says this Atma Paino Nityam, that the winter and seasons, as the winter and summer seasons come, happiness and distress will come. It will come. Just tolerate it. And a devotee tolerates it with this mood. He accepts the miserable condition to be the grace of the Lord. He thinks I would have been punished or put into a more dangerous condition of life due to my past misdeeds, but the Lord has protected me. Thus, I have received only a little punishment as a token execution of the law of karma. So, a devotee is always grateful. He's grateful in either situation, if he's in a miserable situation or if he's in a comfortable situation, he's grateful to the Supreme Lord. Thinking of His grace in that way, a devotee always surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead more and more seriously and is not disturbed by such so-called punishment. So this is the attitude of a devotee, and this helps him to take more and more shelter of Krishna, to surrender more and more to Krishna, and in this way, the miseries of the world the miseries will come, but then he is not affected by them, as Prabhupada is using the word, not disturbed by such so-called punishment. Did anyone want to add or comment anything? What we just read?
I think in the material world, there'll be that duality, right? Like misery, happiness, it's part of, so, but the way we take it, right? And
Yeah,
be in control.
yes. If both in misery and in
And
happiness,
happiness, yeah.
yeah, both of them, we can take shelter of Krishna.
Yeah, we can't
And
avoid,
that,
right?
oh,
Peace will
no,
be,
cannot avoid.
yes.
Yeah, that we cannot avoid. Happiness and distress will keep
The
on
stress
coming.
will
And
be
when
there.
Krishna says that, yeah, he says that just as the seasons change, the winter season comes, then it changes, then summer comes. We can't stop that. Similarly, we cannot stop happiness and distress. Although we want happiness to stay and distress not to come, but sadly enough, happiness goes away and goes away too soon. and distress may seem to be long. Krishna is saying we cannot avoid that, but he says that you tolerate it.
Mm.
Come, just tolerate. So we can tolerate by depending on Krishna, by understanding it as Krishna's mercy, that the misery is being reduced. It's my own karma. I would have suffered more. But the Lord is so kind. He's helping me to reduce my karma. And in happiness, that, oh, I don't deserve this happiness. I don't deserve it. But the Lord is kind that He's giving it to me. And Krishna says that if we have that attitude, Lord Brahma says that if we can maintain this kind of attitude throughout our life, then liberation becomes the rightful claim. Then for sure can get liberated. Okay, reading on, Maitreya Vachan.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Shamapaye vamsa midvasham midvamsam
Shamapevam Samitva
Vasham Vam
Amsham
brahmana chanumantritaha
Brahmana
Brahmana Chanumantrita
karma santanayam asa
Karma Santanayam Asa
sopadhyayat yartvik adibhihe.
Sopadhyaya Yatvik.
The great sage Maitreya said, thus being pardoned by Lord Shiva, King Daksh, with the permission of Lord Brahma, again began the performance of the yajna, along with the great learned sages, the priests, and others. So Lord Shiva has forgiven Daksh, all is well and done. Daksh is taking the permission from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the greatest authority there. So he's taking the permission and beginning the yajna. So that's the etiquette which is being pointed out. Vaishnavam yajna santatya
Vaishnavam Yagya Santate
tri kapalam vijotamaha
Trikapalam Dvijotamaha
Vijotamaha
purodasham niravapan
Purodacham
Purodasham
Nirvapan
Niravapan
vira samsarga shuddhaye.
Veera
Vira
Samsarga
Samsarga
Shuddhi.
Shuddhaye.
Thereafter, in order to resume the activities of sacrifice, the Brahmanas first arranged to purify the sacrificial arena of the contamination caused by the touch of Virabhadra and the other ghostly followers of Lord Shiva. Then they arranged to offer into the fire the oblations known as Purodasha. So, of course, there's so much violence had happened, so much violence. Virabhadra had done this and his followers. So the Brahmanas are cleaning up the place. It has to be sanctified, it has to be purified, and to begin the sacrifice again. And they were putting the oblations, the offerings into the fire. They are called the oblations. Purudasha. Purudasha. Lord Shiva's followers and devotees, headed by Virabhadra, are known as Viras, and they are ghostly demons. Not only did they pollute the entire sacrificial arena by their very presence, but they disturbed the whole situation by passing stool and urine. Oh yeah, they had passed stool and urine too. Therefore, the infection they had created was to be first purified by the method of offering Purodasha oblations. A Vishnu yagya or an offering to Lord Vishnu cannot be performed uncleanly. To offer anything in an unclean state is called seva aparad. So even in deity worship, when we are doing deity worship, this thing has to be taken care of. The worship of the Vishnu deity in the temple is also Vishnu yagya. In all Vishnu temples, therefore, the priest who takes care of the Archana Vidhi must be very clean. So the pujari of the one who's taking care of the deities, he has to be clean himself, make sure everything is clean, the altar is clean, the paraphernalia is clean. Everything should be always kept neat and clean, and the foodstuffs should be prepared in a neat and clean manner. All these regulative principles are described in the Nectar of Devotion. So when we read more, the Nectar of Devotion, we will be reading that. There are 32 kinds of offenses in discharging Archana worship, Archana service. It is required, therefore, that one be extremely careful not to be unclean. Generally, whenever any ritualistic ceremony is begun, the holy name of Lord Vishnu is first chanted in order to purify the situation. So when we are doing deity worship, we have to keep the standards very clean, and always the deity worship is accompanied by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the holy names of Lord. That is really the most powerful purifier. Whether one is in a pure or impure condition, internally or externally, if one chants or even remembers the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, one immediately becomes purified. So chanting of the holy name can be done in any condition, whether we are clean or unclean, we can chant. The holy name is very powerful. It's, of course, it's better to be in a clean state, but if it's not possible, it's okay. Chanting can be done anywhere, everywhere. Lord Chaitanya says there are not even hard and fast rules for chanting the holy name. Do you want to stop here, Sneha, or you want to continue?
We'll stop here, please.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.